So Crunchyroll's X-Arm has now officially, as of the recording of this video, hit 19,000 dislikes. And not only have they hit 19,000 dislikes, but both Crunchyroll and Netflix have been hit by the media, and they have been slammed hard. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, it doesn't look good at all for Crunchyroll. They're terrible animation when it comes to X-Arm. That's already one thing. And then Netflix is now getting slam blasted alongside Crunchyroll by the media, and we're going to take a look at what's going on here. First off, taking a look at X-Arm. X-Arm itself has now reached 19,000 dislikes. People do not like this. The animation is terrible. I mean, if you look at the model right here of the character, why is her back bulging out? Like, you see, like, there's a crease from her shoulder, and then her back just bulges out. Like, this is really bad, and as I stated in a previous video talking about this, it looks like PS2 graphics. It's like they didn't hire anybody that knew how to animate. And to think that the money that Crunchyroll has had, I mean, you would think that it would go into animation if they're going to do it, but apparently not. This is why it needs to be left to the Japanese animation studios to do anime, and definitely not Crunchyroll. And speaking of that, well, the media has gone after Crunchyroll also. CBR, you know, the talentless hack activists that they are, well, they've actually gone after Crunchyroll, surprisingly enough. Their article titled, X-Arm's Awful Trailer Proves Why Anime Should Be Made by Animators. And they weren't the only ones. ANN, or the CNN News, in other words, Clown News Network, or Anime News Network, has actually gone after them as well. Their article was, why does the Crunchyroll original series X-Arm look so awful? And seeing how they always praise Crunchyroll, that's something for you. Because it's like, they basically just all summon Exodia to just go and blast Crunchyroll for their terrible animations. But Crunchyroll isn't the only one that's under fire, because Netflix is as well. Because Wired had something to say as well. There's something super weird about Netflix anime. And we're going to get into a little bit of this article. It's a very long one, but there are some points that I want to bring up. But, you know, one thing to talk about here is 3D anime, because this is actually what this is about. And, you know, one big thing is that 3D anime, it's just not as good as 2D anime. I mean, there are many people who are more of a fan of the 2D style than the 3D style. And the 3D style, well, it's more of a quantity over quality kind of thing, which I think is a big problem with studios like Netflix and Crunchyroll. So, I want to take a little bit of a look at this article. There are some important things that I wanted to talk about in terms of this article that has to do with a lot of this stuff. So, taking a look at this. We've been a big part of the internationalization of anime, says Colin Decker, Funimation CEO, but we view it as stewardship. Decker's approach is all difference. Anime is a Japanese product, definitionally. The manga that inspires it is made in Japan. The storyboarders, writers, and producers are in Japan. Although now some animation is outsourced to Korea and China, its stories tend to take place in Japan. With Japanese characters doing Japanese things, this dazzling stained glass window into a distinct foreign culture is a large part of what charmed millions of Westerners looking for a little escapism. And that's the one thing, is that people have always loved the way that Japan has done anime. And the thing of it is that anime is so vast. There's so many different genres that, while there may be one thing that you may not enjoy about it, you can look at another genre and then actually jump into that one, and you may like that one. You know, there's just so much anime to watch, so many different types of genres that, you know, just because you don't like one doesn't mean you won't find something else that you like. You know what I mean? You know, you'd always find something. And think of it is that when you have companies like Crunchyroll, Netflix, and Funimation, for example, well, what do they want to do? They want to change anime. They want to take away what makes it special, hence the censorship, hence the lines that they've changed, that they've thrown in, agendas and whatnot. You know, you can see what they've been trying to do, and this is a problem. They've really been trying to change it from what it was because they want to make it more Western. And that's a problem because people like anime the way it is. It doesn't need to change. It doesn't need to be any different than what it has been. But of course, these companies want to control that. So, continuing on with this, a lot of what is appealing about anime for audiences around the world is what it represents, such as a different point of view, Decker says. Not only is it from Japan, but these creators, if you're not doing an 8-armed supernatural love story set on Mars, you're not trying, you know? American fans fell in love with the Japanese cultural product, so by the time they get it, it had better still be Japanese. It's an approach shared by Funimation's anime distribution competitor and sometime collaborator Crunchyroll. Authenticity is our currency, says Crunchyroll's head of global partnerships, Alden Buddle. We're bringing our fans an experience as close to what they'd see on Japanese broadcast as possible. Well, let's look into that for a minute. So let's take a look at Funimation for a moment. Back earlier in the year, back in March, what did they have an article on? About how, what does it mean to be on an anime production committee? Well, the thing about this is that I've pointed this out multiple times, and I'm going back to this, because this statement is very telling when it comes to them, right? Big thing is that when it comes to Funimation, for example, they had this statement here. Conversely, Funimation is trusted by the rest of the committee to use their international expertise to better market the show to foreign viewers and provide more detailed input to the other Japanese companies regarding what fans abroad would like to see. It's a win-win. What does that mean? That means that they're going to tell Japan what they can and can't do. That's exactly what that means. So, they're not trying to do it from the perspective of, well, we like the stories to be told the way it's supposed to be told, then we just dub it the way it's supposed to be done. Instead, as we've been seeing from Funimation, well, they like to censor and change things to fit their agenda. So, Funimation, yeah, they want to change it. And then Crunchyroll, we got to look at their statement, with what they stated here, well, they contradict themselves with this statement that recently came out, and this is what they stated. The co-production partners have to be receptive to input. There are simple things that, added or removed, can maximize the audience in a given territory. We have 150 marketing people across the globe with an intimate knowledge of their local markets. Hollywood studios can't do what we do. See, that's the thing. They want to change it. That's exactly what the statement is that Japan has to be receptive so that they can change it to fit the standards of the country that they're airing it in, or that they are appealing to. You see, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to change anime from what made it special and to just take away what made it so special and just make it bland. That's what they're trying to do here. And that's one thing that Wired is actually talking about with this article here, as you can clearly see. And the statement at the very bottom of the article is a very important one, so let's take a look at this as well. Netflix, put simply, will make anime less Japanese. It can introduce Japanese writers to Australian directors. It can broker deals between Canadian writers and Japanese manga artists, Chinese background artists, and German composers. And it can shoulder the risk. We're acting as a hub, Sakurai says. I know several Japanese animation studios that have long wanted to work with Western writers, but they didn't know who to reach out to, how to negotiate with agents. They got afraid of contractual deal terms with a Hollywood agent. You see, the problem here is that what they're trying to do here is they're trying to change anime from what it was, and they're trying to just basically control it, make it what they want it to be. That's exactly what they're doing here. And anime fans, we all like anime the way it is now. We don't want things to be changed. We don't want alterations. And another thing is with the 3D animation as well, it's quantity over quality, but it should actually be quality over quantity. But they're trying to pump out as much as they can, and that's the problem that Netflix in this article is also pointing out as well. So, continuing with this. Toward the end of our interview, Sakurai talks, which, by the way, Sakurai is the one who's in charge of anime over at Netflix, in case any of you are not sure who he is. Talks about how Netflix has been poaching artists from a French institute to make anime. I tell him it's all very interesting, the internationalization of anime by this big tech-driven media conglomerate, because in America, a lot of people watch anime to escape, maybe to Japan, or some otaku version for it. Japan is a different country with a different culture. Its media might resonate on a visceral human level, but sometimes, in a welcome turn, nothing about an anime will remind me of my life at all. "Oh wow," Sakurai says, as if he's never considered that possibility. The problem is they're trying to control it to make it for everybody. The thing of it is that they're trying to just sap out what makes anime anime. They're trying to take away what makes it special, and then it's just going to be a hollow shell of what it once was. That's basically what they're doing. A quirk of good art is that a love story involving a 3,000-year-old demon and a 16-year-old high schooler with cat ears might get you through a breakup when Bridget Jones' Diary cannot. In the US, anime is still an outsider's medium, an escapist vehicle. In time, Netflix may discover that nobody really wants what everybody wants. And that's exactly right. You see, Japan has done well on their own, and that's the thing. They are actually just continuing to do amazing. Think of it is that, let's say they were to let the West take over. Well, then they're going to fall apart. Reason why I say this is because look at comics, for example. The comic book industry, what is going on with it? It is collapsing because they've put all of these regulations. They try to push their agendas. These comic book companies like DC and Marvel, well, they went woke. And nobody wants that in their fiction. Nobody wants to listen to real world politics. Nobody wants to listen to their agendas. People just want a good, entertaining story. That's one thing people love about anime is the characters, the good stories. I mean, look, manga's beating comics. It's beating Western comics hard. And I mean, if Japan were to let the West take over, well then it will ruin what makes anime special. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you were new here, and make sure you were still subscribed, because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels, so make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media, spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow can always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.